All right. I cannot believe that we are on live. Oh, talk about 34 minutes trying to get onto the software. Okay. So we're here and I'm going to give you some great information because we're talking about fatigue. This is what's a big thing right now because we have about 66% of people that are feeling overly fatigued. And I think it actually is even higher. So today we're going to talk about how to reverse and prevent adrenaline fatigue. So let's get rocking. Your state of health is but a reflection of how you perceive yourself and your world. This is a great picture of this person. Okay, so when we deal with day to day stuff, this picture makes me laugh and smile because it's all about having fun. When we find that we are envisioning our life in a different way than what it really is, and we're not taking action to make those changes, sometimes we can bring ourselves down. And that exhaustion, that approach that we have when we're not happy in life, is vital to keep our health in check. When we feel like we are overly stressed in life, then comes the fatigue. So let's get talking about this. My struggles have been real big with having hypothyroidism and struggling with that and learning what it's about, learning about the foods that have worked for me, and also the healthy foods that have not worked for me that I thought were good. So today it's all about learning your individual space and what's going to work for you because not all healthy foods are good for you. I want you to really listen to your body and get to really learning about yourself. And that's what the Tuesday calls are about. As I started learning more about how to eat for my body, going through a process to help myself sleep better, and I still have days where I will have sleep deprivation. And it's all based on the alignment of my emotional state and also what I've been eating. So let me tell you more about that. I'm a number one best-selling author on Amazon. I'm a blogger, and I am also through the media circuit, and I do live discussions and make sure that I'm just there to support people in really understanding that we just have to take a basic few steps. So we're going to get there and talk about that. I want you to stay here all the way through because we're going to talk about the 10 signs that you have that are telling you that you have adrenaline fatigue. We're going to talk about the 3 steps to reverse adrenaline fatigue. So we're going to start talking holistically and discussing the steps that you need to do. We're going to go in there in depth. But I'm also going to talk to you about how to prevent adrenaline fatigue in the future. So we're going to discuss the steps to back out of it and how to set steps in your day. And what we can call them rituals, but steps in your day and really keeping your mindset on what things could be shifting you in the area of fatigue. So everything that you do and experience physically, mentally, and emotionally has a profound bearing on your entire being. So when you think about the reason why you're here today and maybe feeling fatigued or just like I've had enough, or you're feeling very sensitive and extra tired to where you can't reset yourself, let's start thinking holistically about what we're physically doing, what we're emotionally doing. Adrenaline fatigue is a collection of signs and symptoms, so it's a myriad of things. The results happen when the adrenal gland, so when you are having any kidney issues, sometimes that's going to fatigue your adrenal gland. And also when you have thyroid stuff, when your liver is off, you're going to have issues where adrenaline gland is going to help kick your body into high gear. So there's many things that can happen that are going to affect your energy level. But if you've had prolonged stress in your life lately, most likely you're dealing with adrenaline fatigue. But if you've been maybe working out too much, have been eating too many of the wrong foods, this can also kick you into gear. So the adrenal glands support and respond to every kind of stress that you may be having. So you want to think about your physical and psychological stress. So if you've ever seen somebody upset and you go, oh, well, that's just, they're just stressed out. It's their own personal issue because they're just making stuff up. Well, what's important to realize is that if somebody's not feeling good about a situation, or you personally, that yes, the psychological stress and what you perceive can definitely kick you into adrenaline fatigue. So no matter what, if you're feeling tired, you're here and you're here for good reason. Also, what it does is it regulates energy production. That's what the adrenaline gland does. It deals with immune function. So if you're having issues with being sick easily or consistently, or you've had a cold that's been, we can call them seasonal colds where, oh, I get a cold every fall. Well, maybe there's extra stress, or maybe there's physical stress that's going on that kicks you into high gear of adrenaline fatigue. Also, it affects your heart rate. So if you have those issues where you're feeling like your heart races back and forth, that can easily be connected with your adrenaline glands. Muscle tone. Okay, so I find this one really interesting because when my thyroid is off, that all connects also with the adrenaline gland. I notice that my skin is more droopy. Under my chin is more droopy. And once everything gets in alignment, I start noticing like around my eyes are becoming more tight. Under my chin is becoming tight. My muscles are looking more toned, even though I'm working out the same amount. So it's very interesting. So if you have skin that you're like, why is my skin aging so fast? Because we really focused in on that last week. But this is another reason. If your adrenal glands are off, let's get them into alignment because it affects your beauty. It affects how your overall body composition is. But also there's other processes that enable us to cope with stress that really affects our adrenal glands. So if you are feeling hyper stressed, then you can definitely be having these issues where you're getting kicked into adrenaline fatigue. I'm going to share with you Anna's story because she really connects with this whole stress process and what she was dealing with. But within a month, she was bouncing off the walls. So if you've ever been to my YouTube channel, you definitely have to go check it out because under Success Stories, Anna has a great story and it's definitely connected with adrenaline. And also she was having kidney stuff. So is this what I call your renewed inner opportunity? This is a mind shift. Yes, it is. Because we're talking holistically here today. So if you go to your doctor today and you start getting tests taken, it sometimes may not show up in the blood. So I want you to get your mindset into your wellness program. And if you feel any fatigued issues, and even if your doctor has not diagnosed you with anything, I want you to truly believe in yourself and that realize that you're not making up anything. That's the first thing is sometimes our doctor will say that we are not sick and we go, but I feel so tired. My hair is falling out. Why is that falling out? My doctor's saying there's nothing wrong. So as a holistic coach, this is what we go into, being in tune with our body and being focused on what's truly important to us. Do we feel bad? All right, let's make some changes. So will most people pass it up? Yes, for sure, because not everybody is connected holistically. But the real question is, will you? Will you stay on the call and work with me through this? And let's get to the final, all the way from beginning to end, and let's make this a well-rounded discussion today. So where do we start? Know your why. What is it that keeps you up at night regarding your health? What is the biggest struggle that you deal with on your day-to-day life when you do not have energy? What happens when you have your energy lulls? And you know what you're going to find out also? That your energy lulls are going to be in an interesting ebbs and flows. I'm going to go through that a little bit deeper mid calling our coaching call today. So what would you do to get results and have a breakthrough for more energy? I'm hoping that you can step into a deeper process here for you. So today you're here with me to talk about the 3 tips to looking great and feeling amazing, and how we're going to reverse and prevent adrenaline fatigue. So I want you to look at yourself, say, mirror, mirror, are you ready to unleash tremendous power of healing that lies dormant within you? You're ready to restore balance on all levels of the body, mind, and spirit. You have come to the right place, and I want you to know that I got you today. The information I'm going to share with you is information that I use to help guide my clients, to give them shifts. So I'm going to share 2 discussions with you today on some success stories. All right, so the first one, we're talking about the 10 signs that you have adrenaline fatigue, that you're feeling tired for no reason. You're just feeling exhausted. You have trouble falling asleep. So when you're starting to fall asleep, if you don't have energy to take that switch off and go into transition of sleep, this is a big issue. You're having trouble getting up in the morning, even going to bed. So let's split that up. When you wake up in the morning, there's 2 hormones that help you get moving. One of them is the cortisol, and the other one is the adrenaline hormone. So if you're having trouble getting up in the morning, most likely your adrenaline hormone is not helping you bounce back and get yourself awake. And we talked about going to bed, about if you're not able to click it off. So you're feeling run down and overwhelmed. You know that when you're tired and feeling fatigued, that there's nothing you can do about feeling overwhelmed until you kick it into high gear. We're going to talk about that too, because if you are feeling overwhelmed and tired, we usually go to stimulants. So I want to give you some coaching around that, so stick with me. Also, if you're having difficulty bouncing back from stress and illness, so if you have a stressful moment or a stressful week, a stressful year, and you're not bouncing back, I want you to connect with, there's something going on, and we're going to work on your wellness program today. Are you craving salt? Are you craving sweet snacks? That's a sign that you're dealing with adrenaline fatigue. So that gives you the bounce. That's another way of putting stimulants in your body. If you feel awake, alert, and energetic after 6 p.m., then what you felt all day, that's interesting. But your adrenaline, there's certain ebbs and flows that happen through the day. And usually, if you're feeling tired at night, then usually you'll just go right to bed and everything will be fine. But I have a couple clients that have told me that 11 o'clock, they're starting to, vacuum and clean because all day they felt tired. And I have one client that got into extreme adrenaline fatigue, that she ended up getting extremely sick where she couldn't even walk. Now she's walking, she's pure health and great, but she had to do some things holistically to get herself back. So she went to her doctor and they were pumping her with medicine and different things, and things were not helping, and she was still just losing the battle of having any energy. And so this is an important point here. If you have energy in the evening, but not in the morning, I want you to take this real serious. Make sure you don't keep pushing yourself into adrenaline fatigue, into peak, where it affects your illness. Also, if you feel like your spirit has been sucked out of you, you need energy to keep going and feel motivated and to feel like you have a handle on your day. Also, you're stopping, and if you take 2 breaths and your body does not reset, that's another reason to think that you're in adrenaline fatigue. So we're going to go into the 3 steps to reverse adrenaline fatigue. So it's a nice transition in. You kind of got your mindset on the 10 areas. If you found at least a few things in this list, I want you to stick with me here. Okay, so this is a really deep statement to make. Clean up the cells in your body if you are wanting to kick yourself out of adrenaline fatigue. So we talked about the 10 areas that really lean towards you have adrenaline fatigue. So I want you to just take a moment and breathe and just kind of think about that. And think about how it stops you from making bigger commitments in life, feeling like you're barely having 1 foot into fully living life because you're overly tired, exhausted, not being able to reset your body. So I want you to think about this, that to clean up the cells in your body, you're going to have to learn how to add some meditation into your life. Meditation can be a couple of breaths and extend it throughout the day, thread it throughout the day. And it's also learning how to listen to your mind so that you have a clear way of thinking and not allowing the sabotages, the negative thoughts, the words that break down our personal self. And that can stem from when you were younger. It can stem from when you were just recently dealing with something and something new came up. But usually it happens when we're young. And so it's clearing the sabotages by starting to listen to yourself. And the other thing is bringing yourself into whole foods. And I'll talk more about that. But cleaning up the cells in your body. So listen to all the areas that's there. And this is a big, overwhelming statement to make. But today, it's making that step to start making those changes. Let's start improving the digestion to help the system work, because that's going to help. If your body's feeling overly tired, you're going to want to be adding some herbs to be able to help your process. So add rosemary to your meals. You can do it very fresh. You can get it out. It's easy to grow. You can have an herb garden. You can get it from the store and it will still work, but the best you get is from the fresh. But start improving your digestion by listening to yourself. When you're eating, are you taking time to eat? Taking time to chew, allowing the saliva to get into the food and really making that food get into the first process of digestion. Add some rosemary then to go through that first process and then bring it through all the way to the belly. So through that can help relax and nurture the system. And that's also going to help with adrenaline fatigue. Sometimes with adrenaline fatigue, you have digestion problems. You may not even know it. And so if you have bloating that's around your body, in your legs, your feet, your hands, your face, and also through your belly, then you're definitely having some digestion problems. Add rosemary. Also add cilantro, and you're going to get potassium, iron, antioxidant. Remember the first one I was talking about is clearing and cleaning those cells. Add cilantro to everything. You can add it to salsa, you can even do it to fruit salads, to regular lettuce salads, to making baking different vegetables into the oven and roasting them. So there's a great way to add those. Connect with your rosemary and cilantro. So I want you to meet Anna, because Anna really is the woman that I really spent quite a bit of time with. But I want to tell you the results that she got for the first month of making some changes. So the top 10 things that were happening if you're in adrenaline fatigue, she was dealing with this. And the main area that she was having problems was her kidneys. So we're going to focus in on her kidneys because the adrenal glands sit right on top of the kidneys. So if your kidneys are struggling, for sure your adrenaline glands are going to be having struggles also. So she has kidney stones. It runs in her family. Her parents have always told her, well, sorry, you have kidney stones. It just runs in the family. It is what it is. So she had to connect with that and really believe that she could help heal herself. She couldn't be around loud noises. She felt like when she came in a full room of people that the noise would stress her out, that it was very difficult for her to be even in a room. So then it would close her off and she wouldn't even interact with people. Her legs were swollen and she felt overly stressed. Now it says legs but actually this should say feet. But she was feeling overly stressed every day. She was exhausted. Everything was very emotional for her. And so she had to really step into it. Her struggles were that she was shy in groups and that she thought that what she was internally feeling. She thought that, well, this runs in my family, so just must be the way I live. And when she came in and started working, she realized that the issues that she was having, that she could make big changes once she fully stepped in, and she did. She was also getting up 8 times a night because she had to pee consistent. And so, of course, also an adrenaline fatigue because she was getting no sleep. So her first month, let me share with you the changes. She increased her water intake. She increased fiber to 40 grams of tasty, wholesome food. So she got right into the detox with me and she started cleansing her body. She worked out 3 times a week and she added meditation. Her celebrations, where there's actually a video on YouTube of her, but she started losing inches, stopped getting up at night. She was able to be in groups and her increased confidence was just shining through her face. She was just beautiful every time she talked, where before she was feeling, oh, life is so hard. And it became something very special for her, waking up in the day, slept all night, and she wasn't having those back pains from her kidney stones. And this is just within a month. So I want you to be able to connect with that. So how do we prevent adrenaline fatigue in the future? So don't race to quick relief. Now, what we understand is that coffee, soda, medicine, sometimes when we jump in and take medicine before we take a step back and really evaluate what we're doing, also taking sleep remedies. Sometimes when you're doing something that gives you an up or a downer, it can truly affect how you emotionally feel. So take a step back. Let me give you a coaching advice here. If you find that you're doing this, I want you to take a day where you're not doing any of this. And it's going to be very difficult. So maybe you want to do it on a Saturday or Sunday. Be ready to take a nap. Be ready to take care of yourself. But I want you to see what you're eating that day. I want you to listen to the times of your ebbs and flows, because that's a deeper issue. The issue is that you don't need your coffee or your soda to keep you going, but your body is telling you you need it because you are feeling the fatigue. So the prior stuff that I shared with you and how to take care of yourself right now, I want you to step into that so that you can be ready to naturally take those quick reliefs away from what you're doing and really start dealing with the solution. And I know that the general population does this. So sometimes we get lost in that, oh, it's okay because everybody else does it. If you're in here to make these changes, to make big impact in your life, I want you to connect and think about how this affects you and then what your next steps are, and just follow along. Listen to your energy lulls, as I said. Also, it's interesting, log your food when you get confused. So if you're feeling like, yes, I eat really good and I don't know what's going on, log your food. Find out when your ebbs and flows are happening, and the log that you do will give you ample information in how to really deal with what's going on. That is going to be your blueprint for your next steps in what you need to do. So logging food can be very powerful. Go to bed by 10. And if you have issues with that, no later than 11, because the 10 to 12 period through the night is when you sleep the deepest. And if you get into that, you're going to notice a big, big impact. So if I was to put this at the middle where I had the 3 things to get you out of adrenaline fatigue, I would add this along with it. I could add 4 of the things, because the sooner you go to bed, the deeper your sleep is between 10 and 12, and it has to do with the cycle of the process of the moon and the sun coming up. If you're feeling it, I want you to make those changes. Also, when you feel that you're starting to get clogged, today's a good day to start this. And this is not something you have to do for the rest of your life, but if you really connect with it, I want you to do this. These stretches right here, reaching for your toes, if you're sitting down, standing up, those are going to be how you're going to declog your kidney meridian points. And that's where your adrenaline sits, right on top of the kidneys. This is going to help the flow, help the energy so it doesn't get stuck in your body, but it flows through. Think of your body as a full energetic system, because you need to have that system to keep you healthy. So fatigue is a major causal of contributing factor to today's health problems. This is from Andrea Moritz. This is so important, because once we're tired, once we expose ourselves to not having a good immune system, then we're open for chronic disease. So take your steps forward. Keep moving forward on the 3 areas we talked about. Now this is, I got a special picture in here, there's two, but the comparison is here with Michaela. I shared Michaela's story with you, and she was feeling quite exhausted. And as you see, she started taking great pictures of herself because she was feeling so fabulous. So I want you to feel fabulous and excited about what you're doing. And this is the way to do it. So step into it today. Yes, Michaela had these great results. So I want you to feel less stress about your life, about making changes in your life, because today I'm asking you to make those changes to make new stuff happen for you. Also, I want you to feel like you have control of losing weight, because losing weight is just a byproduct of how you're living your life, that there's something else happening deeper. So go for it. So I want you to remember that nothing that I've shared with you today is theory. As I've showed you that other clients are using these techniques. So I've shared strategies and about my personal strategies and what I use for working with my clients, but also my personal energy plan. So you know what you want to learn. You know you want to learn to get results like my clients have, but you may not know what you need to do. Today I've shared a few things, but there's more. You may be frustrated with all the information out there, but you're still holding out hope for you getting these types of results. You just want to be told what to do and how to do it to see real results in your health journey, weight loss, energy, and less stress. So I have a free product for you today. And the reason why I'm giving it for free is because right now in between different services. So stick with me here, because one thing that you want to take with you today is that I am not extra special, and I do not have access to exclusive sources and tools. I just have a signature strategy that works. And so I have something I want to share with you today, and you can have these changes too. So the obvious question is, how do I get the results now that I've tried in the past to do? So you have a choice. Stay with the complicated and confusing, or let me help you with simple and structured steps. Instead of going, I want you to say yes. So I want you to go to rhondaliebig.com/High Energy Unleashed ebook. There is where you can get your Energy Unleashed ebook. Now, this is a 9-page ebook. I wrote it. But what you also get with it is that you get me as your coach in 2 videos. The first video is going to introduce you to what you're going to be learning. And the second video is going into details, and you're going to get email back to back to help guide you. And so I want you to step into that. Enjoy this free opt-in today. And so why we usually struggle is that the top of this discussion, I was talking about that adrenaline fatigue is affecting more than 66% of the population. When we have stats like this, I think that it's under what it truly is happening out there, because most of my clients, when they come in, they're dealing with this and they're not finding ways to get out of it. So step into your high energy unleashed by going into rhondaliebig.com, High Energy Unleashed ebook. Enjoy the process of me coaching you. But I'll also see you on our Tuesday calls, but opt in to get this free ebook. Also, in this, you're going to understand how stress impacts your metabolism, because once you understand the why and understanding what happens with why you can't lose weight, why you're feeling this way, then it's going to help you with making those changes. You're also going to learn simple ways to give back to yourself so that you can diffuse your daily chaos, your daily stress. So opt in, enjoy this free ebook, and I'll catch up with you next Tuesday. Sorry again for the late start. Do not even know what was happening on that software, but we got it recorded. And so I want you to tell you that your energy plan is here. Get into action, opt in, grab your ebook plus your videos. So go to rhondaliebig.com, High Energy Unleashed ebook, and I will catch up with you next week.